welcome to Webisode 11. Webisode what?
11.
Not bad. Hey, we're here with Richard Saucedo, the director of bands at Carmel High School, and just one of my personal heroes as a music educator. I just sat through one of Richard's clinics. We're here at an MEA conference, and I tell you what, I learned so much sitting there that I had to grab the camera and talk a little bit about it. Now, first of all, for those of you who don't know, Richard's been at Carmel High School how many years?
Wow, 28.
28, so he's old. But even being old, he has a very young son.
3 years old, Ethan. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Ethan. Ethan's favorite animal?
Oh, I don't know if his favorite animal is a bear, but his favorite thing overall is choo-choos.
All right, so he's still into the choo-choos?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Big time.
That's awesome. And then you have an older daughter,
Carmen, who just started college at Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, and she's going to be an elementary music teacher. I'm very proud of her.
Are you now? And she's a choir focus, right?
Choir. Yeah, but she wants to be elementary, not elementary music, but just elementary teacher in general. So.
Wow.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, you must be very, very proud.
I am.
Richard, for those who don't know Richard, in addition to being the director of bands at Carmel High School, obviously just a world-class composer and a world-class educator, a world-class father, and a world-class trumpet player, right?
That'd be no.
Oboe.
That'd be, I can play some really out-of-tune notes on oboe.
Good. So can everyone who plays an oboe.
Yeah.
Clarinet.
Not so much.
Trombone? Okay, what do you play?
Baseball.
Excellent, excellent. So if you want to catch a local baseball game, for those who don't know, Richard is actually a pianist. And you don't know that by hearing his groups play. We just assume that all band directors are wind players. But your start was actually on the piano, and that's your forte.
Yeah,
and how much of that piano playing transposes into composing versus your knowledge of the wind block?
Oh, a ton of it. And I think it also transposes well into working with winds and percussion as well. Because it's all about music. It's all about making music. And the thing that I'm so pleased with is that my parents forced me to play piano when I was 5 years old. They sat me on the piano. I had a little timer. I had to play until the timer went off, and then I could go out and play baseball.
Memories, anyone?
Okay, then I could go out and play baseball. But now, when I'm composing, or even a lot of times I'll be up in front of the band, and I'll just say, put your instruments down for a second, and I'll go to the piano. Because sometimes I can't always explain what I want, or I won't know what I want when I'm composing, but I can find it on the piano.
Okay, if not piano, favorite instrument to write for?
French horn.
French horn. Yeah, I can understand why. If you couldn't be a band director, you would be?
Basketball coach.
Your hero is?
Bobby Knight.
And you're going to read more about that in an upcoming book that we're working on. Okay, so I did this with Darren in the last webisode. Real quick, 3 favorite pieces to play with no prejudice to who composed them, even if it's one of your own.
3 favorite pieces. Right now, we're working on Granger's Lincolnshire Posy, and I would have to say that the second movement of that is it's just brilliant. Well, the whole thing's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
You know, but that one, I really still get emotionally moved every time I play it. O Magnum Mysterium is definitely one for me. And actually, the lyrical, I'm obviously really into lyrical pieces. The lyrical movement of Dance Movements by Philip Spark. It's written only for brass. And it is one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever heard written in my life.
Now, it sounds to me like your ear gravitates towards haunting music.
It does a little bit. I'm a big believer that music needs to create an emotion that really affects people. You know, and I think there's no better way to do that than with lyrical, kind of haunting melodies.
Do you find that in your own melodies?
I do. I think that my most successful pieces have always been my lyrical pieces, because I think that's where my heart is, and I think that's where my emotion flows. So it kind of works that way for me.
So we talked about the 3 favorite pieces. So 3 favorite bands that you like to listen to?
Oh, geez, there's so many. I love listening to the Kennesaw Mountain High School Band.
David Starnes, just phenomenal guy.
I think they are just so great.
And David, you look good in a sweater vest.
Absolutely. And I think it's 4 degrees right now in Atlanta, and they're out of school.
Wimps.
Because of that, really.
Wimps, because
really
it's freezing here.
Yeah,
I don't know. We got it's
almost 65.
Yes, maybe 68.
It's a little chill.
It's a little brisk, but.
You know, I love listening to David's bands because they play so musically and they play with such a rich sound.
And also a piano player, correct?
He's actually a percussionist, but I think he did play some piano.
Yeah.
So, but he's a wonderful percussionist, just a great musician and a great friend. Alfred Watkins' bands at Lassiter have all...
Alfred, you still haven't called me!
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Alfred is just another one of my heroes. First of all, he's just one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. But his bands are amazing. They're just absolutely amazing.
Year after year.
He's consistent. He's so consistent. And you know what? There's a ton of bands, even in my own state. I love listening to Lawrence Central's concert band. You know, I love. There's just so many groups.
Well, let me ask you that. Most people don't realize that you within a 10, 15, 20-mile radius of your high school are several BOA Grand National champions, several Midwest performers, several BOA and concert band festival performers. How much is that culture of excellence, that seeing and hearing excellence every Friday night or at every festival, how much does that up the game of your own band?
Every day it ups the game. And when I talk to those, what people consider our competing directors, you know, I was judging this last fall, I think maybe in South Carolina, and we were in a judges meeting, and someone mentioned Lawrence Central, and one of the directors looked at me and said, "Oh, that's got to make your blood boil when you hear Lawrence Central." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Well, you guys are big rivals." I'm like, "They're our best friends," and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, we don't care who beats who there. I mean, there's a mutual respect." And there really is, because I listen to Lawrence Central's band or Avon's band or Center Grove's band, or, you know, and I think we can do things better when I hear those groups play. So I think they make us better. You
would encourage a young director, or not a young director, to spend as much time around the best possible band.
Oh, absolutely. And even if you got to travel, you know, hitchhike wherever you need to go. You know, but hear great bands and watch great teachers teach, because that's where you learn.
Sitting in your clinic, I honestly thought the best $275 you'll ever spend in your life is to fly to Carmel, Indiana, and listen to your bands for a day and just see the process, not only with you, with Pote and with Crikey and with Andy Cook, and just it'd be the best money you'd ever spend. And there are
that's why our program is what it is. It's not, I mean, it's not me, especially now being gone so much as I am and traveling. It's those three guys. You know, it's Mike and Chris and Andy, and they're the ones who have developed that program and keep it going and improve it, you know, on a daily basis. So
and they are
very lucky to work with
great teachers and a great orchestra and a great choir program there. I mean, truly, it's just excellence all the way around. So, okay, we've talked about the three favorite groups. We've talked about the three favorite pieces. Three biggest mistakes you see teachers make on a concert podium.
Number one, not asking for more help. Trying to do something in rehearsal that they're not ready to do, that they need help with, that they need to watch someone else do, that they need to bring someone else in to do before they're ready to do that. Trying to run before they can walk.
Are you talking about literature, or are you talking about rehearsal techniques?
I'm talking about how to listen to the band, to actually hear what they're doing and respond with the right information for those kids. A lot of times, I know when I was a young director, I would cut the band off and I just had these stock things that I knew were important, so I would say them. And now, I know that sometimes my kids think I'm totally bored because I'll cut the band off and I won't say anything for a second. I'll think for a second. Then I'll be like, clarinets, here's what I think we need to do, you know? And so I think that the biggest mistake that any band director can make is thinking that they can do it by themselves. Even if they're by themselves in a program where there's no other band program for 50 miles on either side of it, then they got to travel 51 miles if that's what it takes to watch someone else teach, or pay someone to come in that 51 miles to work their band and watch them.